Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Mood616 here, and I'm back with a brand new video. You know what? This is going to be my horror Blu-ray collection overview. This isn't going to be done in like shelves. This is probably going to be done in parts. Starting with this one's going to be the Scream Factory collection overview. I actually have the complete Scream Factory collection up to date. As of April 29, 2014. This is everything that's been released so far. So I'm going to do it like that. So I don't know how many parts this is actually going to be in, but anyways, let's get going. Alright, first up is Halloween 2. It's such a fucking fantastic release. This is, still one of my favorite ones to date, and this was actually the very first Scream Factory release. Can't go wrong with this. If you want to see an awesome in-depth overview and reviews and stuff on this, check out Double Shot Jay's video on this in his Scream Factory overview videos. Fantastic job he did in that. Halloween 3, what can I say about the film? The transfer on this is just fucking phenomenal. Absolutely love it. Just can't go wrong with this release. It's fantastic. The Funhouse. Tobe Hooper's The Funhouse. I'm a big fan of this movie. I think it's great. Scream Factory did another great job with the transfer. Terror Train. Another one I've really always enjoyed. I think the end of this movie is so fucking funny. It just looks hilarious to me the way it goes down. But Terror Train, fun film. They Live. Such a big fan of this movie. Roddy Piper just kicks ass in this film, man. Everybody knows about the famous fight scene in this film with Keith David. Seriously, one of the funniest things I've ever seen in a film ever. But such an enjoyable film. Great premise. Deadly Blessing. Wes Craven's Deadly Blessing. Now, this movie is such a weird film. I've stated over and over again how much this film is just it's so bizarre how it all comes together, like how it all goes down and stuff, and all the kind of undertones to the film, and it's a weird one. It's definitely one that you kind of got to see for yourself to really understand where I'm coming from. Prison, fantastic movie. Got some really great gore scenes in it, but cool premise, man. Need to make more films in prisons. From Beyond, this is a really great release. Absolutely love the cover art on this film. I think it's really cool. Or on this release here. Awesome film by Stuart Gordon. You can't go wrong with this. Scream Factory did another great job with this. The Burning, classic slasher film from 1981. Can't go wrong with this. Really cool cover art on that one also. It's one thing that Scream Factory does really well is I think most of their cover arts I think are pretty cool. Some of them are my favorites, but this one's pretty cool though. But another great job. Transfer's fantastic. Tobe Hooper's Life Force. Such a weird, interesting kind of film. It's definitely another film that if you've never seen, it's kind of one of those films that you need to check out for yourself. Kind of hard to give a review. It's one of those films you just definitely need to see for yourself. The Howling. It's my favorite werewolf film of all time. I just love this movie. The Scream Factory transfer on this is fantastic. This one's got, a bunch of special features and stuff, very cool stuff, but love the Howling release. Fantastic. John Carpenter's The Fog, one of my favorite John Carpenter films in general. I could watch this film over and over again. The transfer on this is just phenomenal. Looks great. Very, very interesting cover art. Not generally my favorite, but this one has just like a ton of special features. Yeah, The Fog, very cool stuff. Phantasm 2, Don Coscarelli's Phantasm 2. This is another amazing release. The transfer is just ridiculous on this. Looks so great. It's really too bad that they can't get a hold of all the other films to release them, but yeah, another great release. This one doesn't actually have the most special features in the world, but for the picture quality, and quality of the film, it's just awesome. Day of the Dead, love the cover art on this release here, and this one right here is just chocked full of features. It's got a really cool new documentary on it that's actually really well done. Really enjoyed it, but transfer is amazing. It's pretty much on par, in my opinion, with with the Anchor Bay Blu-ray release. I've never seen the Arrow Blu-ray release, but because I missed out on that one. But this is great. John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness. Kind of a underrated John Carpenter film, in my opinion. A lot of people like this film, but it doesn't seem to get the praise that it really probably kind of should. I think it's a great movie, man. Donald Pleasance. You got Alice Cooper over here. But yeah, very cool film. Psycho 2. This release always kind of tripped me out that they didn't have alternate cover art for this. They use the same cover on the inside also. Yeah, very weird, but I love Psycho 2. I think it's such an amazing sequel. One of my favorite sequels actually ever. Transfer is so sick on this. So sick. Not very much special features on this, but, you know, great sequel though. Quality of the film is worth the pickup. And Psycho 3, which I'm such a big fan of this movie. Again, they didn't use different cover art for this. Directed by Anthony Perkins. I really do like the way he directed this film. I really like the transitions and stuff. I think he did a really good job. Kind of underrated. I think it's just a fucking blast. Great film. And then Body Bags. This is probably my most disappointing release. This is the film I wanted to get released by Scream Factory so bad. You know, I like the cover art here, the alternate cover art and stuff. My main problem with this movie is that that it has a little bit of audio issues in this. Like, I can totally notice it because of my background, but it was bugging me, man. It was really, really bugging me, especially in the first half of the film. It's a lot worse than it is in the second half. So the whole gas station scene is kind of fucking bugged me the whole time. The picture quality was phenomenal on this. I can't deny that. There's a little bit of, you know, special features and stuff on here. But those audio blips in this, fuck, it really pissed me off. But yeah, Body Bags. I'm happy that it got released though. Night of the Comet. This is actually not a favorite of mine. I think the cover art's pretty cool. This is a movie I've never really been able to fully get into. I think it's a decent film. I don't think it's poorly made or anything. I just kind of think that more things could have happened in this movie. But, you know, I'm happy that Scream Factory released it. It's a great transfer. Really, really great transfer, actually. But, you know, it's just not a favorite of mine. John Carpenter's Assault on Precinct 13. I fucking love this movie. It's just such an awesome fucking film. It's not a horror film, obviously, but, you know, just about this gang that basically assaults Precinct 13. It's a huge gun battle, huge fight for survival. It's such a great movie. Awesome transfer, too. Sound is amazing in that film, actually. Cat People, the remake of Cat People with Natasha Kinski and Malcolm McDowell. Such a weird, kind of unique film. I thought the transfer was great on this. I think a lot of people were kind of shitting on it a little bit, but I think it's fucking really good. It's just a weird movie. It's another one of these movies that you kind of got to see for yourself to kind of, you know, give your own opinions on it. For shelf number 2 here, Night of the Demons, signed by Kevin Tenney. I just showed this in a recent update. The transfer on this is phenomenal. I've actually watched all the special features and everything on this. A really good release. One of my favorite movies actually of all time. It was a blessing meeting Kevin Tenney. It's on a couple of my favorite films, and you know, Night of the Demons, great cover art, actually one of my favorites. Darkman. Still to this day, don't understand why Scream Factory released this. Should have been a Shout Factory release, but you know, it's a fun film. I can't really say anything bad about the movie. Liam Neeson's really good in this, and you know, it's got some funny ass parts. I always love the part when Darkman flies through the building window into that meeting. He's like, "Excuse me," just the way he says it's fucking funny as hell. But yeah, Darkman doesn't really fit the Scream Factory line too well, but you know, it is what it is. Cockneys vs. Zombies, one of my favorite zombie films in the last bunch of years. I think this movie is so phenomenal. I love the way it opens up. It kind of reminds me of Return to the Living Dead, the way everything kind of comes together and the way the outbreak starts. But very funny humor. It's just nonstop action and hilarity, really. It's a great movie. Great fucking transfer, too. Chiller Original, Dead Souls. I thought this movie was pretty decent for a TV film until the end. I thought the end was pretty shitty, so, yeah, it is what it is. Beneath, we just did a full-on review on the 22 Shots of Moods and Horror podcast for this, so if you want to hear more about that, it's like probably about a half an hour conversation we did about this, but it's definitely enjoyable. Practical effects is what really sells this movie. It's just so refreshing to see practical effects, and the fish looks phenomenal. I highly recommend the Blu-ray too. It looks fucking awesome on Blu-ray, like really, really great. Dead Shadows just came out officially today, which is April 29th, 2014. I actually received this yesterday and watched it last night. This movie could have been a lot better, man. There's some pretty shoddy CGI in this, but it's a little slow. It runs about 75 minutes, and it really doesn't get going until about the 40-minute mark. And, when it does get going, it's not that overly great. I was disappointed with this movie. It does have alternate cover art and stuff, which is really cool. Transfer's really good, but not the greatest. It's actually a French film, by the way, so it is subtitled. Cue the Winged Serpent, Larry Cohen, another one that's signed to me. I love this movie, man. I know some people don't really dig this one, but I don't really know why. I think the structure and the way the story is told is absolutely brilliant. I love the effects in this movie, too. It's great, but really awesome film. My favorite Scream Factory release to date, the double feature, Terror Vision and The Video Dead. I watch this shit all the time. I've actually watched all the special features on this entire disc and stuff, so very cool stuff. Great transfer. Terror Vision just looks phenomenal. Video Dead will never look better than it does. I mean, if you've seen old bootlegs and VHSs and shit, this transfer is like pristine. Looks really good. The Island with Michael Caine. This is an interesting film. The first time I watched this film is actually when I first got the Scream Factory release, and I wasn't overly that stoked on it, but I did watch it again, and it's actually a really good film. The whole gun battle towards the end is just phenomenal, but, it's an interesting film. It's different. Death Valley with Ralphie there. This is actually a pretty cool film. Like, it's not the greatest in the world, but it's very enjoyable. I really enjoyed it. It's good shit. The Nest, Killer Cockroaches. I really enjoy these type of films. It's got some pretty nasty gore in it and shit, but you can't really go wrong. Another great release by Scream Factory. These are the type of films I want to see them releasing. The Vampire Lovers, Hammer Horror. This is a cool film, man. Really good shit. The transfer on here is actually really surprisingly good. Vampire Lovers, cool film. The Town That Dreaded Sundown. This also comes with The Evictors as a bonus film on here. I think they originally were going to release that as a solo film, but something fell through. The Town That Dreaded Sundown is a fun film. I do wish that, the comical elements of the film were not there. Sometimes it does kind of take you out of it a little bit. But, overall, if you can get past that, it's a good film. It's fun. As for The Evictors, I think The Evictors is a fucking awesome film. It has Jessica Harper from Suspiria in it, which, you just can't go wrong with that. Great film. Really fun stuff. Ninja 3, another film that I just fucking loved. I could not believe when Scream Factory decided that they're going to release this, because it's a film I never thought I'd ever see get released. I remember seeing this back in the day on VHS and just loving it, and of course popped it in and loved it again. It's a really weird type film. I guess it kind of fits the Scream Factory line, but it's a weird movie, but it's really, really enjoyable. The Incredible Melting Man. Great effects from 1978 or so, 77 or 78. It's a cheesy fucking movie, but, the transfer is pretty good on this, considering all things, and, it's got really good practical effects, obviously, but I recommend it. It's good. Swamp Thing, Wes Craven's Swamp Thing. It's another movie that I'm not really overly a big fan of. I've never been a huge fan of this film for some weird reason. I do like the premise and stuff, but it doesn't really seem to work for me that well. I don't know what it is, but, the transfer looks really good. There's not really a lot of special features on this one and stuff, but, good film. Or not that great of a film, in my opinion. I know it does have its followings, but Scanners 2 and 3, in my opinion, this is the worst Scream Factory release to date. I despise both these movies. I think they're both shit. I Come in Peace. Dolph Lundgren, fucking awesome film, man. Great film. Very kind of interesting, weird premise with aliens and shit, and it's interesting. Gregory Hines and Eva Destruction. This movie's decent for what it is. I like Gregory Hines' performance in the film. It's okay. It's not that great. I don't really understand why Scream Factory released that one, but X-Ray and Schizoid double feature. X-Ray, also known as Hospital Massacre. It's a great film, man. I really enjoyed it. Did a review on Body Bags for it a long time ago. Schizoid with Klaus Kinski. Very interesting film. Very cool double feature. Really enjoyed that double feature. Next up is the Chiller release of Chilling Visions, Five Senses of Fear. Really enjoyed this anthology film. I thought it was a lot better than people were originally giving it credit for. I think it came together very nice, and out of the 5 shorts, I think like pretty much all of them were really good. I think there might have been one that was kind of weak, but I had a lot of fun with that. I do recommend it. And last up on this shelf is the Horror Show, also known as House 3. This is a really shitty movie, man. Another Scream Factory release I'm not too fond of. Again, really no special features, but it doesn't matter. Very, very boring film. In my opinion, doesn't really do anything for me. Down here we got Klaus Kinski in Crawl Space. Awesome fucking movie. Love this movie. Such a good time. The Beast Within from 1981. Very interesting premise. I think this movie is kind of underrated, actually. I think it's a really fucking fun film. Very interesting premise. Kind of gets you thinking exactly what is going on and stuff. Cool stuff, though. Saturn 3. Really cheesy kind of sci-fi horror. To be honest, I wasn't really the hugest fan of this movie. I'd never seen it before Scream Factory released it, but yeah, it didn't really do a lot for me. I kind of found myself being bored at times. Die Monster Die with Boris Karloff. This was a great upgrade. The transfer is awesome. Yeah, really awesome film, man. Very underrated, I think. And you can get this one for really cheap. I think it's one of the cheaper Scream Factories, so definitely pick it up. Another Kevin Tenney film, Witchboard. Transfer is phenomenal. This is actually one of the very first films ever to freak me the fuck out. I watched this film when it first came out back in the 80s, and yeah, it gave me nightmares, man. I was terrified of Ouija boards after this. It just, fuck. It did it for me, man. But, great film. Got a bunch of special features on there, and yeah, definitely pick up this release. Transfer is fucking awesome. Next up is a double feature of The Beast of Hollow Mountain and Neanderthal Man. The Beast of Hollow Mountain is basically kind of a western until the dinosaur shows up. It's fun. Very fucking fun film. Neanderthal Man, not the greatest. I actually was kind of bored with that one, but yeah, I do recommend The Beast of Hollow Mountain. It's fucking fun as hell. Another double feature here, Bad Dreams of Visiting Hours. This was just an upgrade. I actually do own the Shout Factory DVD release of this double feature. Bad Dreams, decent, not the greatest in the world. Visiting Hours I do prefer over Bad Dreams. Bad Dreams kind of reminds me of like, Bad Dreams kind of reminds me of like a really cheap version of Dream Warriors sometimes. But I like Visiting Hours better, actually. And last up for the Scream Factory, or on these shelves here, is the Slumber Party Massacre Blu-ray. I gotta say, man, holy shit, the transfer was really fucking good on this. Really well done. Yeah, it looks great. Cheesy film. Most people know about Slumber Party Massacre. So up here, I have the Amityville Horror Trilogy box set, having all 3 films. The Possession being my favorite movie. I absolutely love The Possession. I think that movie kicks ass. Part 3 has grown on me a lot. I think Part 3 is so bad it's actually good. And yeah, after watching Part 1 a couple more times, it's really grown on me again. For years, I really liked the movie, and then I kind of went through a phase where I didn't. But next up is the Vincent Price Collection box set. That has The Pit and the Pendulum, The Mosque of the Red Death, The Haunted Palace, The Fall of the House of Usher, The Abominable Dr. Phibes, and Witchfinder General. This is a fantastic set. I've officially watched all the films in here, and transfers are great. You know, you can't really go wrong with that. So those are the 2 box sets that Screen Factory's put out. Onto the DVDs, the strictly only DVD releases that Screen Factory's put out. Sorry about the glare here, guys. TV Tears, The Initiation of Sarah, and You Are in the House Alone. I was very saddened to find out that this did not sell very well, so they will not be putting out at Volume 2. It really pisses me off because I really enjoyed both these TV films, both from 1978, so maybe if there's still a chance, go out there and buy all these, buy this TV Terror set, you know, support Scream Factory or else we're not going to see anything else. Next up is the All Night Marathon Volume 1 with What's the Matter with Helen, The Vagrant, The Godsent, and The Outing, also known as The Lamp. All fun films. My least favorite here is The Godsent. I actually didn't really care for it at all, actually, to be honest. I thought it was, The Vagrant's just ridiculous. The Lamp is just cheesy. And What's the Matter with Helen? It's actually pretty good. It's a good film. And last up for the Scream Factories is going to be the Volume 2 with the Dungeon Master, Cellar Dweller, Contamination 7, and Catacombs. Oh man, Cellar Dweller has just a fucking amazing decapitation, that film. Contamination 7 is some cheesy killer trees and shit. It's ridiculous. Catacombs is actually pretty cool. Dungeon Master is just, wow, so cheesy. It's so fucking cheesy. But yeah, so that's going to do it for the Scream Factory overview, and that is the entire collection up until April 29th of 2014. So looking forward to the new ones that are coming out, and support Scream Factory so we can get some more awesome releases, guys. And that is going to do it for my Blu-ray, my horror Blu-ray collection overview. Volume 1, I'll just call it, or whatever, Part 1. I'm not sure how many parts this is going to be in, but stay tuned for the other parts. Alrighty, guys. Peace.